So how would they communicate with the other three?
We want to make this practical for our viewers. Are there particular exercises? For example, so if someone wants to become a coach, but they feel like they're not strong enough in their S aspect, what exercises can they do to strengthen that S aspect?
Well, the first thing, it's not the strengthening of the S. They are already an S. What they have to learn is the D, the I, and the C. So how would they communicate with the other three? And so D's, and like I said earlier, 78% of communication is nonverbal. So an S, when he's talking to a D, would have to lean forward. The body language is more forward. The direct, eye contact, the little bit more firmness of the voice. And that way a D would respect them more because they hear that body language is more assertive to them. Because S's typically tend to be, they're more reserved, they're introverted, and they think, okay, talking to a D when they're very forceful, if I talk in my language, the D is not going to be sold. He's not going to want to be coached by you because you're not assertive enough.
Makes sense. What about an I? How would you adapt as an S for an I?
Eyes are very interesting people. They want to be liked. That's the main thing. So eyes wanting to be liked, they like to do things the fun way. So they're always looking at having fun. They're not attention to detail. They're really focused on being the center of attention. Like I said before, they're not just at the party, they're the life of the party. They're in the middle of the party. They're dancing on the tables. And so an S would have to, bring out a little bit more assertiveness, but everything is under the umbrella of let's have fun.
And what about the C's?
The C's are very interesting also in that they are not people oriented, they're task oriented, but they're very reserved and quiet. So they like to do things, very attention to detail. Usually accountants, engineers, people like that are C's. So they in fact do want the details. When I'm coaching a C, or at least taking them through the sales process, I actually talk about every step we're going to take in coaching. First, we're going to do positioning. Then we're going to do an alignment. Then we're going to do a 90-day plan. Then we're going to start measuring where you were on a scale. And every week measuring the improvement. They love that. They're like, oh, I want those details. If I do that with an I, their eyes roll back in their head. But the C's, they want all the details.